dette afsnit af Oldtimers skal vi høre fra en af de første amerikanere i dansk basketball, nemlig Otis Loyd. Vi skal høre fra kanadisk fødte Thibodeau, og så skal vi høre fra den tidligere CISO og Næstved-profil Mickey Dennis. Disse tre Oldtimers fortæller i dette afsnit om, hvordan deres basketballrejse til Danmark foregik.
When I first came in 1974, there weren't that many guys. It was just, at least Scandinavia was just opening up. Southern Europe, particularly Italy in that case, had been used to having foreign players. But Scandinavia was just opening up to foreign players. There's a coaching friend of mine from my college, City College of New York. He had did some basketball clinics here in Scandinavia, and at one time he was in a city called Helsingborg. And the next year they were making a transition where they were inviting American players to play in Europe. They were looking for a guard. And since he and I had been, really close over the years, he asked me was I interested in playing in Europe, and I said yes. And then he said Sweden, and I said, oh boy, it's a long way to go.
I had blown out my knee a previous time playing in a league in not in South Dakota, but a league in the States. And I was working at a sports academy, and then my boss somehow knew Maz, and Maz had called my boss, and then I was sitting in the office, and it was kind of like my boss just went like, hey, you still have a passport? I said, yeah. You want to go to Denmark? I said, I don't think I really want to. Copenhagen's like the new Amsterdam. Do you want to go there? Then I was like, okay, I think maybe should check this out.
I grew up in a small island called Prince Edward Island on the east coast of Canada. It's for Danish people a good comparison would be maybe Bornholm. At the time, as an 18-year-old, getting away was very important. I did not have any offers in the United States. At that time, in the 80s, they definitely did not look in those areas of Canada. Maybe if I was from Toronto, I would have got some looks being 6'8".
I hadn't really played for a while because I had been rehabbing my knee. 2 weeks later, I was on a plane. I came here like just around Thanksgiving, November 25th, November 26th. Started practicing playing and met the team and the guys.
I started out in Helsingborg, and I played there for 2 years. Then I went to Lund. I played for a club called Lugi. I played there for 1 year. And then I went back to Helsingborg for another year. And then went back to the States, finished my degree, and came back, and I wound up in Malmö. We had played in Denmark quite often. The particular team from Helsingborg, we played against Dansk, which was one of our good club teams that we played here, and BMS. Through BMS, I got in contact with Helge Holman. We got to know each other very well through an old friend named Charles Campbell. One day, on my way back to the States to decide to visit Copenhagen just before I would leave in a few days, I ran into Helge Holman on the walking street, and told him what I was doing. I had a contract waiting for me in Malmö, but they were pretty slow about it. And he asked, was I interested in coming to Denmark to play or to coach? I said, you're kidding. He said, no, I'm very serious. I said, you put together a contract. We talked a bit about numbers and so forth. And next day, came back to Copenhagen. He had a contract ready. I signed it. I went home for the summer.
I got to Denmark at 27 years of age. I had been playing on the Canadian national team and some other pro teams. And then I signed a contract to play in Sweden, got hurt, bumped around a little bit, and I spent 2 years playing up there in a club called Nesher. I had a plane ticket that was connecting through Copenhagen. So I thought, okay, let me try to phone some people. And the guy I ended up I talked to Otis Loyd a little bit, and I talked to Sylvester Royal. And one of the guys I also talked to was Glenn Hudson. And he told me to come down, meet him at the main train station in front of the Platz Theater, and we'll have a little chat and see what can happen. So we get there, and I ended up meeting him. He's like, let's drink a beer. So it was a really sunny day. Okay, let's drink a beer. Let's drink 2 beers. And we're walking around, enjoying the weather. All of a sudden, we ran into a guy named Patrick King. And he's like, this is Patrick King. He coaches Glostrup, and Patrick's like looking me up and down like, yeah, we need a guy. Actually, do you want to come try out at the club? I go from, relaxing in the walking street, whatever, to actually full out playing a scrimmage, tryout, whatever you want to call it, in Glostrup. And I guess it went well, and yeah, I got an offer from those guys and ended up coming back after the end of the summer.
Well, I accepted the job because my boss told me that I could come back afterward. He said just gain experience, go out there and play, and you can never turn down an opportunity to see the world. So I thought I'd go out and play, come back, do the job again, and then maybe play again. We had a great season, great team, and I loved Copenhagen, and just kind of fell in love with the country.